Hey sailors, Captain Murder back to give you a first look at the new Russian Tier 7 premium cruiser. She's the reward for completing the new Order and Discipline campaign, assuming you pay for the Admiralty backing, of course. I wanted to give you a quick look for a few reasons. The first reason is that you're like me and you want to know the strengths and weaknesses of all the ships that you're going up against. When I was a new player, I hated being bested out there on the open seas by ships that were foreign to me. Secondly, you wanted to know if grinding out this campaign is worth all the effort. Either that, or you're considering buying out the campaign and you want to know if the doubloons are being well spent. There's no fault in that. Wallet Warriors unite. Before we take a look at her, there's something we need to clear up right away. Pronunciation. Don't be that guy out there butchering ship names. It's pronounced Pyotr Bagration. Bagration has 4 syllables. I put a link in the description down below if you need to hear it a few times before you go and mumble it to all your friends. She's named after Pyotr Bagration, who was a Russian general and prince prominent during the Napoleonic Wars. So now that we've gotten all that out of the way, let's take a look. To begin with the overview, you will immediately notice that she has a lot of traditional Soviet characteristics, sure shot and long reach. She also boasts superior AP penetration. This project was also notable for its AA defenses, which were reinforced based on the experience gained during prior combat. As we jump into the armor schematic, you'll notice right away that the armor layout is very similar to other Tier 7 Russian cruisers. There isn't anything about her that offers much reassurance that she will hold up under heavy fire. The citadel is slightly raised above the waterline. The casemate and the deck armor are paper thin. And that nose reminds you of Glass Joe in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Trust me when I tell you that this girl gets slapped hard from every angle. I'm going to tell you right off the bat that my build on this ship is no finished project by any means. I tinkered around with her for about 5 hours this morning, and I still don't feel I've maximized her limited potential. But here's what I've settled on so far. I've got aiming systems in mod slot 1, steering gears in mod slot 2, steering gears in mod slot 3, and gunfire control systems in mod slot 4. With a Kuznetsov build, which I will show you in a moment, that gives us the following loadout and statistics. Before I go there though, I want to point out that her consumables are very limited. She only comes with a 4.4 kilometer sonar, which you can trade out for the AA boost, and the standard heals. That's it. No smoke, no radar, no spotter planes, no engine boost. It's kind of weak sauce. I mean, come on, Wargaming. Doesn't Santa Claus come to Russia? We need more toys. Hit points are at 42,000, which is average for this class and tier. The armor, I've already pointed out, is weak. For her main battery, she carries 180mm 3x3 guns with a reload time of 10.2 seconds. This is a bit weak compared to almost all the other 3x3 cruisers at Tier 7, which mostly have 203mm guns. You will definitely notice this in battle. I will say that the shell grouping and dispersion are extremely precise, so save your commander inspirations to address other areas of concern. For torpedoes, she carries 2 racks of 5 with an 8 kilometer range. The max damage of 14,400 is nothing to brag about, and the 55 knot torp speed is 10 knots less than the Ochakov and Chapayev. The AA defense is strong at 85. Only the Azuma and Siegfried boast stronger AA numbers for Tier 7 cruisers. The max speed of 37.5 knots is above average for her class and tier, yet her rudder shift is an alarmingly bad 4.1 seconds. Compare that to the 2.9 seconds on the Ochakov when using an identical commander build. Now I'm using Kuznetsov, which I will show you in a moment, but you could certainly get this lower with a Makarov build. Now if you are going to go the Makarov route, be aware that you're probably going to be giving up some range on those guns. So a little tit for tat. Buyer beware. Detectability by sea is alarmingly high at 13.3 kilometers. I tinkered around with getting it lower, but there wasn't enough value once I lost all the speed and rudder shift that I had to give up. So as previously mentioned, I'm semi-settled on a Kuznetsov build, but let's jump in there and take a closer look. So as we know, Kuznetsov's base trait is follow the sun, which is going to give your cruiser a little extra range on those main guns. In skill slot 1, I went with beyond range. In slot 2, definitely had to go with intuitive. Slot 3, velocious. Slot 4, steer clear. And the legendary slot, refill station. For inspirations, I needed a little more speed, so I chose Von Muller and a little more rudder shift. And of course went with Azure Lane Baltimore. Now I did mess around with punch through a little bit, and I didn't feel like I could get it to work the way I was hoping it would. That great AP shell penetration that it already has, I feel like it's doing enough all on its own. So I stuck with Velocious. But try it out for yourself. Maybe it'll work for you. As we jump into the gameplay here, there's a few things that I want to point out that I really like about this ship. Definitely that shell grouping and dispersion. The accuracy of this ship is noticeable. The AP, it punches in some very specific places. Middle range, cruisers, deck lines on battleships. You obviously got to be real careful when you're getting in there to find those angles and those specific shots because your armor layout's so weak. So choose it carefully, get in, get out, big bang boom. Some things I don't like about this ship, definitely its lack of consumables. All morning I've been kind of reaching into my bag of tricks going, where is everything? I could really use a smoke here. Could really use a plane here. Could really use a speed boost here. And there's just none of it. Not to mention, no radar? There's not really an incentive to get in close. So what ends up happening is in situations like this where you're staring down a bunch of open water, you're kind of forced to the edges. Not atypical for cruiser play, but for somebody like me who really likes to get in there and duel, this gameplay is maddening. It's extremely appropriate to stay at that 12 to 18 kilometer distance from just about anything. Because that rudder shift at 4.1 seconds, man alive, it's just bad enough to not be able to effectively turn out of some of those massive salvos that are coming from battleships at tier 7. So one of the things that I've really been tinkering with here is what's more important, to really buff out the guns or to make this thing a little bit more maneuverable. And I'm definitely leaning towards the maneuverability. There's obviously a million different ways that you can muck around with commander builds, and I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody comes up with. For now, this is kind of what I've settled on, but I'm not sold on it yet, because I haven't really had any monster games. I'm getting blapped all over the board. I feel kind of punch drunk from a morning of getting slapped around. So, in this footage here, I'm going to sneak around the outside, and I'm going to try to find some decent shooting angles from some middle range to long range type things. Okay, here's a Fletcher coming up. I'll be able to showcase the accuracy of these guns pretty well. Now watch as these salvos come out, just how tightly they land. I mean, that is pinpoint stuff there. So I need to be aware of this JB out there. I'm taking a real big risk here. I'm in one-shot territory. But I'm noticing that his guns are definitely firing south. So I'm going to stay with my risk assessment. I'm going to keep firing here and hope that smoke covers. Yep, I'm firing from concealment now. Let's see if I can't put a little something on this JB. Now this is a place where I could experiment with some AP, right on that deck line. I chose to stick with HE, mostly because I think this old gal needs a fire. And also want to keep that HE in there in case the destroyer pops back up. Again, big risk stuff here. As soon as he passes through that smoke line, like that, I need to skedaddle. There he goes. So we've got a Bismarck coming over. Ooh, our team's doing a great job. Another destroyer off the board. I see another destroyer silhouette up ahead. Yep, there he is. Also got this Bismarck moving in on me. He's probably pretty excited to put some shots on the new ship on the block. Here they come. I got really lucky there. Normally, if that's anything but a Bismarck with horrible dispersion, I'm taking a 15 to 20,000 K blap there. So I got off lucky. I switched to AP to try to get that deck line shot on him. But then the Z popped back out. So I gotta reposition my focus here to him. Can I get around these? Yep. There's a second rack. Let's see if I can't clean him up before that Bismarck comes around. Nope, I'm going to lose him. But I will be able to get these torps off on the Bismarck. I'm hoping to get off both sides before he gets around that island. Ladies and gentlemen, 55 knot torpedo speed. Not the sexiest fish in the sea. So this is a choice point, right? Do I keep on going? Do I turn back? I got some Z torps crossing my my stern there. Should be able to get this next set off. Well, this is where it'd be really nice to have a plane. I want to know how quickly he's emerging from behind that island. He's not gonna turn in on me here, is he? Kind of dropped those torps, hoping he would. I don't think he's gonna. Nope. Nice hit. Alright. So we've got a ZF6 to clean up here, and hopefully we can get back to port in one piece. I will say that there is a way to play this ship that's not identical to playing an Ochakov. I just haven't quite figured it out what that is yet. Hopefully with a little more tinkering, a little more time out there on the battle map, we'll be able to figure it out. So far, not super impressed with this ship. On a scale of 1 to 10, honestly, I'd give it a 2 or a 3. And I'd tell you to save your doubloons if you're thinking about buying out a campaign. But maybe you really like what you see here, and I think that's awesome. Either way, I can't thank you enough for stopping by, checking out this first look at the Pyotr Bagration. Give me one last crack at this destroyer, and hopefully we can get back to port here. Come on, little fella. Come on. There he is. Look at that grouping. Gorgeous. Friends, thanks so much for stopping by today. I really appreciate it. Feel free to like and subscribe for all future content. I hope to see you soon, but until then, we'll see you on the seas.